God. Dang it. Alright, we are continuing on with the dev commentary run. Now we are going to go into episode 1. Which, unlike episode 2, I mean, not episode 2, unlike the main game, my brain is a bit scrambled apparently. Unlike the main game, the commentary for episode 1 was actually recorded during development, so it's not going to be the devs going back retrospectively and like looking back at development. It should be like in the moment. But let's find out.
Welcome to Half-Life 2, Episode 1. We received a great deal of positive feedback on the commentary track in The Lost Coast, and so we've included the same feature in this episode. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game in order to show something to you. In these cases, simply press your use key again to stop the commentary. With episodic content, we are hoping to release games much more frequently than has been possible with the monolithic development schedules of the past.
Totally.
Game developers and game customers have been wanting to try this for years. Please let me know what you think after you've had a chance to play this, our latest installment in the ongoing adventures of Gordon Freeman. I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun.
Thanks, Gabe. All right, let's do this.
Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
We used an upgrade of the refract shader from Half-Life 2 to make the Vortigaunts warp into the intro. The major difference is that this time we are only refracting pixels that come from the Vortigaunts themselves. We placed a large sheet of refractive geometry in front of each Vortigaunt to achieve this effect.
Oh, cool.
This intro sequence establishes some important initial pieces of Episode 1's story and setting. Our earlier versions of the intro sequence were heavy on graphic effects and relatively light on storytelling. When we showed those early versions to playtesters, they thought it was cool, but rarely had any idea what was supposed to be happening. We went through several iterations, each time simplifying the editing and tightening up the effects. We eventually arrived at a good middle ground between the sort of psychedelic look we were shooting for and basic comprehension of what was actually taking place.
We'll see.
I wonder what the initial version looked like. Was it just really trippy and you just could not tell that they were helping Alex? Like, you could just not tell anything. Like, it looked really cool, but I have no fucking clue what's happening. But, yeah, I would agree that, you know, you kind of need to be able to tell the difference. Like, it can look cool, but it also needs to make sense, kind of.
Dog, I think I found something. Drop what you're doing and help me over here. Oh my god! Gordon!
Hello!
I was so worried. Hey, the gravity gun. Give it to him, dog.
Players love Dog, so we made sure that he was the first thing you see when you wake up in
Dog
episode
is
1.
cool.
We also wanted players to get a glimpse of the crippled Citadel. When Dog lifts you out of the rubble, it's one of the few instances in the game when we take control of the player's view. This allowed us to ensure the player's view lingered briefly on the Citadel before Dog set them down.
There, Gordon. Dog's happy to see you. I can tell. Okay, Dog. Go get the monitor set up so we can check in with my dad. He must be worried sick about us.
Since we never take control away from the players, it can be a real pain to get them to notice important environmental events. It's a constant design challenge for us. The Citadel will be erupting at a massive light show that took 10 of us 2 months to orchestrate, and if we're not careful, the player will end up facing the other direction staring at a tire. In this case, to establish that the Citadel is coming apart at the seams, we wanted the player to notice the debris falling off of it. We used a pretty straightforward method here. Alex explicitly mentions the Citadel while pointing at it. Like most of these solutions, it's not foolproof, but it has a high success rate.
The Citadel is supposed to be a building of unprecedented scale. So out of scale with the rest of the world, in fact, that we couldn't render it without our 3D Skybox technology. This technology allows us to build the Citadel as a 1/16th scale model off in an unreachable corner of the map, and seamlessly merge it into the scene. We also use this technology to create the illusion of vast spaces and distant horizons.
So they made it. Oh, so they made a small model of it, and then they rent their like. It's basically kind of like what they do in Hollywood, where they like make a small model of the scene, and then like you really zoom in with the camera, and you can kind of not even tell the difference, like with some like camera trickery.
This area was redesigned several times in order to keep the player in this space while Alex delivers some exposition. As much as we hated to do it, the final solution was to have Alex climb out while the player looks for an alternate route. We portray Alex as more athletic and nimble than Gordon, so players shouldn't get too irritated by the fact that she can get to places they can't. Honestly, we're not especially happy with this crutch, but it's a trade-off we sometimes have to make so that we can get Alex out of the way of interesting player challenges.
I mean, yeah, she was around all the time.
Dad,
Sometimes we need to
Are
keep
you
the
there?
player in an area so that we can deliver some critical dialogue or
There's
run
so
an
much
important sequence of
interference.
events. In these cases, we temporarily block the player's path using what we call a gate. These gates generally take the form of some obstacle that can only be removed or opened by some character or
There we
event.
go. Hold it there. We
In
got
this
it.
case, the obstacle is a crashed gunship that can only be moved out of the way by Dog. So the final scene looks pretty straightforward.
Well, not
A
quite
lot of
yet.
care had to be
But listen,
taken to
Dad,
make
we
sure that
found
Dog
him.
hit his marks and played his sequences without trampling and
Yeah,
damaging the player.
I'm assuming there was a lot of choreo work.
Right off the bat, we needed to hammer home some story points, reintroduce the cast of characters, and explain the player's immediate goal. There was a pretty intimidating chunk of non-interactive exposition. We generally approach these scenes by writing way too much, and then through constant playtesting, trimming the scene to more manageable levels. But in this case, even after some heroic pruning, the opening scene still felt too long. We ended up splitting the introductory sequence into 3 scenes, separated by some gravity gun puzzle solving, and then a dramatic walk across a crumbling ladder.
When we designed the Half-Life 2 facial system back in 2000, our goal was to get a natural-looking performance at a moderate distance. Given our real-time polygon and texture budgets, we chose fairly reserved or constrained performances over ever having the actors' faces get into a bad-looking or unnatural expression. For Episode 1, we wanted to extend the character's facial system to support more intense performances with a wider range of facial expression that would hold up better at close range.
But Dad,
These facial improvements included increasing the detail around the eyes and mouth, increasing the number of facial shape targets, think of these as movements of muscle groups, by about 50%,
can do this.
rewriting the rules that control how these shapes blend, and increasing the intensity of many of our existing shapes. In addition, we added support for controlling the amplitude of the facial movement for lip sync animation, which let us dampen or amplify the mouth shapes based on the volume or intensity of the dialogue.
Nice. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah,
See you soon.
the face animations I think did look a bit better in the episodes.
Monitor scenes are especially difficult to make interesting, since they tend to involve literally just talking heads. By interweaving critical expository information, like how dangerous the Citadel has become, with some dramatic character interactions between Alex, Eli, and Dr. Kleiner, we were able to convert a potential liability into one of the strongest scenes in the game. A great way to illustrate characters' relationships to each other is to have one of the characters in danger and show the other's reactions to it, which is what this scene is all about.
Okay,
Indeed.
boy. Pack up and meet us on the far side of this ridge.
Alex travels through much of Episode 1 with the player, and consequently passes through a wider variety of lighting conditions than she did in Half-Life 2. This meant that we had to improve the quality of the lighting algorithms used on Alex to look realistic in any situation, from the eerie hallways of the Citadel to the streets of City 17 at sunset. For this episode, we added a specular lighting term to the shaders used on Alex, which provides a realistic shiny look to her skin, her leather jacket, and even her teeth. In these new lighting calculations, we chose to specifically emphasize bright highlights caused by illumination from grazing angles. This type of lighting, also referred to as rim lighting, is particularly dramatic when coming from low-angle light sources such as this bright sunset. You'll also note that the rim lighting is further enhanced by our high dynamic range post-processing, which causes the specular highlights to bloom in a striking and dramatic fashion. We have found that the move to an episodic development cycle allows us to take advantage of the fast pace of graphics hardware innovation by incrementally adding new features, such as Alex's new lighting techniques, to the source engine with each new episode.
She does look a lot better in this episode. Am I supposed to have been doing something, or am I just coming down here waiting for her to come down? Ah, that's what it was.
This ledge is a really tricky spot for NPCs to navigate. While we wanted Alex to be able to maneuver dynamically through any complex environment, in certain navigation situations we're faced with a trade-off between flexibility and visual quality. In this particular case, she navigates the ledge with a combination of AI and scripted animations. We've continued to evolve the systems of Half-Life 2 whereby characters move fluidly through dynamic AI and scripted navigation, but ultimately what matters most is how it looks to the player.
Alright, I gotta push the car out of the way.
Our games are created by design collectives that we call cabals. When the idea to have you and Alex sit in a van and then have Dog toss it across the gorge was first suggested during a cabal meeting, everyone thought it was funny, and then we moved on to more serious solutions for the gorge crossing. As the design progressed, though, we kept coming back to the van idea, and eventually everyone agreed that we should give it a try.
Dog, are you all right?
Even though the idea was kind of outrageous, it satisfied some key goals we had for the scene. Alex and the player get across the impassable gorge, and Dog is able to play a key role in the mission while also plausibly getting left behind. There were still some problems to solve, though. Attaching animated models to the van was tricky. Making sure the van didn't kill the player took some thought.
Yeah.
And it took a number of
Because it
tries
would be a
before we were able
physics
to really
object
illuminate
fleeing
Dog's
through the
thinking,
air.
as he went from testing his idea with chunks of debris to finally presenting the plan to Alex. Ultimately, we were able to create a scene that solved some tricky game design issues, provided an intimate view of the relationship between Alex and Dog, and delivered a surprising and visceral entrance to the Citadel.
That's not too helpful.
Yeah, it is. He wants to throw the car across.
There should be a way to get across. But how? What about... Dog? Dog, where are you going?
It's really important to us to create scenes that showcase strong relationships between our characters.
Huh?
The relationship between Alex and Dog seems to be especially satisfying to
I
players.
think Dog needs a few
In the
votes
scene
to
leading
type.
up to the van toss, we had a bug before the animation was complete, where Dog's head would shake as he looked back at Alex.
Look out!
In a happy accident, his head shook right after she asked him, "You did do the math, right?" In playtests, players thought this was intentional and always laughed. Because of that, we worked it into the animation, and it ended up being a terrific little moment between Dog and Alex.
So wait, so that's a bug? That was originally a bug?
Oh no.
Wait, hold on.
Not
This,
serious.
hold on. I have to see the dog shake his head when he says, "You've done the math, right?"
Well, Gordon, unless you have a better suggestion, he is a robot. He's done the math.
Was that a yes or a no?
Huh?
Is that a yes shake or a no shake?
Get out of here as fast as you can. Go find Dad. We'll catch up. Don't worry. All right. I'll miss you too.
Now, don't worry about me. I'll see you soon. Get in the passenger side, Gordon.
Why am I the passenger? Whatever. Okay, Dog. Give us a good toss.
Brace yourself. Okay, Dog. Let's do it. Before I change my...
Oh shit, there's a train down there.
Okay.
Before I change my mind.
Careful. Hold on. Whoa. Phew.
Not yet.
Boy, go on. You'll be fine. Just.
Yep.
What now?
We're going down, sister.
Hold on.
I'm assuming what they did in this section was just disable your health, because how would you not take damage from all this? I assume, like, in order to make the car not kill you, they'd probably just disable taking damage in general. Would be my guess.
To convey a sense of urgency, we originally designed Alex to nag the player pretty frequently. She'd say things like, "Hurry up and keep moving." Whether or not this created a sense of urgency is debatable.
No, that'd
but
be
after about 3
annoying.
minutes of this, the one thing it definitely did was make the player hate Alex. This was one of the observations that eventually led us to switch Alex from generally leading the players to almost always following. Through playtesting, we discovered that players much preferred to set the pace themselves, and that they especially disliked virtually any hint of bossiness from Alex.
Yeah. I'm going at my own pace. Yep.
This is unbelievable. I had no idea.
We populate our environments with spots where players can take a break to look out over an expanse
push
of
me
scenery.
off.
We call these vistas. This particular vista was designed to give anyone familiar with the Citadel interior from Half-Life 2 a good view of what it looks like now that everything's falling apart. The pods that are sliding off their track and into the abyss really sell the idea that the Citadel is half abandoned and in chaos.
It's pretty chaotic.
In an early version of this map, Alex led the player through the whole thing. To make Alex seem less omniscient, we had her access a console here to get her bearings. It exploded, which helped drive home the point that the Citadel was in bad shape, but generally, it was a long pause in the action without a lot of payoff. After we made the high-level decision to have Alex follow the player, this entire scene became irrelevant, and we happily cut the whole thing.
Wonder if this is where the terminal was.
Training is one of the fundamental tenets of our design philosophy. Before the player is required to utilize some new game mechanic, or new weapon, or face a new monster under pressure in a dangerous situation, we always introduce the concept in a relatively calm, but ideally still entertaining way. This entire scene teaches the player that Alex can convert roller mines so that they can be used as a friendly weapon. Later, the player is required to do this in more pressing circumstances, but at this point, everything's still pretty calm.
I love
In
the
original
roller
design,
mines.
The player retrieved the roller mine from a dispenser and used it to take out a Combine soldier who was holding the field from the other side. Eventually, we scrapped that idea and combined the roller mine training with some stalker exposition that originally occurred in a separate scene.
In a good puzzle, the player is presented with an overall goal and then faces a number of smaller challenges in pursuit of that goal. In the case of the stalker puzzle, we start with, how do I open the door? From there, we move to, how do I get to the stalker? Then, how do I get to the roller mines? How do I get the roller mine back to Alex? And finally, how do I use the roller mine to disable the stalker?
All good questions. Which we will answer in due time. Super Sue. Oops, I lost one. Ah, damn it all. You're killing me. What happens if they all blow up? Oh, it just makes more? Okay.
You found one. Dad taught me how to reset the targeting system on these things. A little extra juice in the right spot, and it's on our side. I'll hold it out where I can work on it. There it is. It's a lot lot more unstable, but it should last long enough to take out the stalker.
It doesn't get old. It's funny.
We can get through now. Let's go.
We wanted to create an atmosphere of urgency in the Citadel, with Alex and the player focused on getting to the core to stop the impending collapse. Initially, we tried to reflect that urgency through Alex's behavior and acting. This proved to be unsustainable, however. If the player didn't choose to advance, Alex eventually ran out of lines or animations and was forced into her very non-urgent idle states. We found that the best approach was for Alex to have such implicit trust in and sympathy with the player that she's always content to proceed at whatever pace the player chooses. Once we adopted this principle, lines where Alex sounded impatient or frustrated with the pace of progress quickly stood out and were cut.
Oh, well, this is where we started. We're going in a loop.
Soldiers.
They're too busy burning, it looks like. Looks like they're too busy burning to their deaths.
We created a new Citadel destruction set of broken Combine panels and prefabs for the interior spaces to help make the Citadel look like it was on the verge of exploding. We also introduced a strong ambient orange color to help sell the fact that the Citadel was in a much different state from the last time the player passed through. The orange atmosphere was justified due to all the fires and smoke inside the Citadel.
So I was playing my new lewd robot waifu game, and I got both new characters du jour. I'm trying to remember what du jour means. Alright, this kind of counts as a no, it's not a suppression of the day. Oh!
Talk about unstable.
Right. That's nice, I guess. You got both the new characters off the bat. Oh, there's a ledge. That's what I was trying to avoid in the first place. That's what I was trying to do by avoiding jumping so far, but apparently that didn't happen.
We created a new Citadel destruction set of broken Combine panels and prefabs for the interior spaces to help make the Citadel look like it was on the verge of exploding. We also introduced a strong ambient orange color to help sell the fact that the Citadel was in a much different state from the last time the player passed through. The orange atmosphere was justified due to all the fires and smoke inside the Citadel.
There is a lot of fire and smoke. You're reusing... You're reusing the same joke from earlier.
The primary goal of the first Citadel map is to communicate to players that the Citadel is falling apart. The Vortex was a late addition to the map in an effort to beef up the idea that the Citadel was becoming a very dangerous place. We had particular difficulty in conveying the danger zone. In early playtests, players thought that the entire bridge was dangerous at all times. Some additional effects work helped let players know where the dangerous areas were. We would have loved to base more gameplay on this Vortex idea, but we just didn't have the time.
I wouldn't recommend following me. You might want to wait till the Vortex is done. You might want to hurry it up, too. I don't know how. It was amazing. Is this where it goes super? No. The gun goes super again at some point. I just don't remember. It's soon, I think.
We revealed the pod here to let players see it up close.
We'll listen to that one later.
We decided this space needed to look unique and appear to have more significance than the rest of the Citadel areas the player had already traveled through, while at the same time feeling as though it was still made with Combine technology. This room introduces a story point that plays a big role in Episode 2, so the player has to feel like something important is going on in here. A different fog setting, as well as different light styles and configurations, helped achieve this. The red lighting is a good contrast to the traditional blue-green colors of the Citadel.
We revealed the pod here to let players see it up close.
How about yourself?
At the same time, we didn't want players to get too good a look at what's inside. An old version of the scene had the pod simply hanging from the ceiling. It would burst open and then charge up your gravity gun, but not do much else. The current scene gives us a much more dramatic reveal of the pod and an opportunity to introduce the mind blasts it's capable of emitting.
Oh, that pod.
Though they don't play a large role in Episode 1, these guys were a functional requirement of Episode 2, which meant we effectively had to ship a piece of that episode early.
Whenever you see the Citadel burning, you think of that one Linkin Park machinima? I don't know what you mean.
It's important that the player has some empathy for Alex, rather than seeing her as just a bullet-spitting robot. The brief recovery scene after the pod mind attack reminds the player that Alex is also affected by events in the world.
Yeah, that psychic blast was nasty, dude. Our brains need a recovery. This is the point where we get the super gun again. Yep.
Gordon? What's going on in there?
Confiscation field engaged.
Hey, it's doing something to the gravity gun.
Yeah, it's supercharging it. It's fine.
I'd say there's security device backfire.
One with Elon and Kleiner. I haven't seen it.
It'll sure come in handy if it stays that way.
I wish it would. It always stays this way in the Citadel. It'd be too OP outside of the Citadel. Let's put it that way. As much as I would love for it to be outside the Citadel.
The Lightbridge ball sockets are a clear example of our training approach to new gameplay elements. We train the players with a leading example, confirm they understand the concept, then switch up the problem set and make them use it in a new way. The first bridge shows players the solution. The second one confirms they understand it, and the third, knowing they understand the gameplay mechanic, challenges them in a new way using that mechanism. Impending destruction is a recurring theme in the Citadel. From story, mood, and visual standpoints, this changes the Citadel. The destruction needed to feel natural rather than entirely scripted upon the player's actions. Not showing destructive events dynamically makes the player assume the level of damage is static. However, if the events are too obviously triggered by player movement, the destruction feels too scripted. We found the solution was to give players glimpses of things that were happening at the periphery of the player space, as well as in their immediate vicinity. To give the feeling that stuff is happening whether the player is present or not.
That would seem more realistic, because yeah, if it only ever happened when the player is looking at it, then that's definitely, then you can tell it's a scripted scene. But if it happens outside of the player too, then it doesn't feel as, forced.
Having trained the player that balls fit into sockets, we wanted to introduce a puzzle where the question was how to get the ball into the socket. The puzzle we came up with involved a socket with an object blocking it, so that the player would have to ricochet a ball into place. This sounded simple until we actually tried to implement it. If we made the covering opaque, playtesters didn't realize that there was a socket behind it. When we made it translucent, they often didn't see it was there, and were confused when their shot bounced off. Making it movable was a red herring, making people think that they could actually knock it away. A couple of subtle art changes helped. We added some more prominent shadowing and made the glass panel flash when it was hit with a ball. Some playtesters consistently searched for a position to get a direct shot, which we didn't discourage as an alternate solution.
I'm just bad at my ricocheting. I'm just really bad at my ricocheting. What the hell? Who's shooting us, Alex? There we go. And I fell off anyway.
Major fracture.
I think a lot more than a major fracture happened, but okay.
Having trained the player that balls fit into sockets, we wanted to introduce a puzzle where the question was how to get a ball into the socket. The puzzle we came up with involved a socket with an object blocking it, so that the player would have to ricochet a ball into place. This sounded simple until we actually tried to implement it. If we made the covering opaque, playtesters didn't realize that there was a socket behind it. When we made it translucent, they often didn't see it was there.
I don't know how I'm so bad.
Making it movable was a red herring, making people think that they could actually knock it away. A couple of subtle art changes helped. We added some more prominent shadowing and made the glass panel flash when it was hit with a ball. Some playtesters consistently searched for a position to get a direct shot, which we didn't discourage as an alternate solution.
Now who's shooting us? Oh, someone over there. That's what I get for standing against the ledge, I guess. Okay. You know, one of these days I'll not fail immensely.
Train the player that balls fit into sockets, we wanted to introduce a puzzle where the question was how to get the ball into the socket. The puzzle we came up with involved a socket with an object blocking it, so that the player would have to ricochet a ball into place. This sounded simple until we actually tried to implement it. If we made the covering opaque, playtesters didn't realize that there was a socket behind it. When we made it translucent, they often didn't see it was there, and were confused when their shot bounced off.
There we go.
Making it movable was a red herring, making people think that they could actually knock it away. A couple of subtle art changes helped. We added some more prominent shadowing and made the glass panel flash when it was hit with a ball. Some playtesters consistently searched for a position to get a direct shot, which we didn't discourage as an alternate solution.
So you can get a direct shot on that? Whatever.
There are some little practical details that take a surprising amount of time and testing to get just right. For instance, it took us many playtests to figure out just how fast Alex should move. It turns out that her falling behavior looks and feels the best when she's moving faster than the player's normal speed, but slower than the player's sprint speed.
No, so she's like in the middle? Okay. She's somewhere in between. Oh my god, I almost rushed to my death again. You don't want to do that.
This dropship scene was another case where we had to be clever about drawing the player's attention to something cool that was about to happen, which the player could easily miss if they weren't looking in the right direction. We used a solitary soldier firing at the player to draw their attention to where the dropship climbs into view. Once the player notices the dropship, there's a good chance they'll watch it and it'll pay off when it crashes.
Did you see that?
I did. I was actually I guess that's why they also tell Alex, like, did you see it? So that way you're actually paying attention. Like, hey, are you paying attention, player? Let me confirm. Like, yeah, I'm paying attention. Don't worry, I got this. I was just checking that. We're going over here. Okay. Another, oh yeah, elevator fight again.
This is where some player training pays off. After earlier training players on the use of ball sockets, they get a sort of live fire test here starting the elevator. This is the beginning of the level's puzzle arc, where a basic gameplay mechanic is made increasingly more complex by layering other puzzle elements on it. The first puzzle only requires that the player find a combine ball and put it in the socket.
It needs more power.
Get it going again?
Oh yeah, the panel. Okay, which means I got to blow that up. Okay, and I think if I shoot it in the hole, might help. Shooting it in the hole might help a little bit. There we go. And it might eventually get in there.
Here we're presenting the player with a now familiar ball socket challenge, but we're also bridging into some new training, showing the player that stalkers can destroy the Combine energy balls.
And then I can destroy the stalkers. How did I get that in, but now I can't? My God. Let me get these if I get the panels out of the way, I might be able to hit it better. There we go.
Good job. Here we go.
I think there's another section of... is there another section of...
I think I see a stop down below. Let's get out there and see where it leads.
Alright.
Look out! Run! That was close.
Late in development, we changed the art for these doors so that players understood they were entering the core area. It turned out that having Alex talk about the area wasn't enough to give playtesters the sense that they'd finally arrived at the core.
We really have to make sure the player understands we're entering the core.
This is another key vista, this time showing the core. It's a visual payoff for the player's success in getting here, and simultaneously, a way to present the player with a view of the next challenge.
Creating a believable, interesting relationship between Gordon and Alex is made a lot tougher by the fact that Gordon never talks. This elevator scene presented a nice little opportunity to have Alex express some emotion in a situation where Gordon isn't really in a position to respond.
These readings are off the chart. I hope it's not too late to re-induce a containment field. Good thing you know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Here's your elevator. Gordon, I wish there was something else I could do to help. Hurry back.
I'll try, but...
Radiation levels detected. The core design posed a lot of difficult challenges. Generally speaking, if the gameplay in a particular map isn't working, we can simply cut the entire area. This wasn't true of the core, because we knew it was critical to the story. On top of that, designing Citadel gameplay is often a bigger challenge than working out areas in City 17, largely because Citadel levels have a narrow set of gameplay tools. There are less enemy types available.
Ow. Okay.
The core design posed a lot of difficult challenges. Generally speaking, if the gameplay in a particular map isn't working, we can simply cut the entire area. This wasn't true of the core, because we knew it was critical to the story. On top of that, designing Citadel gameplay is often
Maybe I'll just let this play out, and then I'll try actually playing.
The core design posed a lot of difficult challenges. Generally speaking, if the gameplay in a particular map isn't working, we can simply cut the entire area. This wasn't true of the core, because we knew it was critical to the story. On top of that, designing Citadel gameplay is often a bigger challenge than working out areas in City 17, largely because Citadel levels have a narrow set of gameplay tools. There are less enemy types available, and the player is usually only armed with the gravity gun. Because of this, we had to go through many iterations of the core design. One of the earlier prototypes was a kind of futuristic version of Operation, where players had to use the gravity gun to cleanly manipulate rods into slots in the core.
Okay, we'll let this guy talk.
The core design
Sorry,
posed a lot of difficult
Mr.
challenges. Generally speaking, if the gameplay in a particular map isn't working, we can simply cut the entire area. This wasn't true of the core, because we knew it was critical to the story. On top of that, designing Citadel gameplay is often a bigger challenge than working out areas in City 17, largely because Citadel levels have a narrow set of gameplay tools. There are less enemy types available, and the player is usually only armed with the gravity gun. Because of this, we had to go through many iterations of the core design. One of the earlier prototypes was a kind of futuristic version of Operation, where players had to use the gravity gun to cleanly manipulate rods into slots in the core. That didn't work, partly because playtesters found that their view was obstructed by the rods, which made it frustratingly difficult to manipulate them with any kind of precision. We prototyped, playtested, and abandoned several other designs until we finally arrived at one that was fun, while still being challenging enough to give players the sense that they'd accomplished a significant goal.
Does this need to be... Oh, okay, I see. Ow, that hurts. What am I doing here? Ow. Why am I doing that? I don't remember why I did that. It's not to go in any deeper, is it? There's probably something out. Something I'm missing. Hold on. Oh, there's a ladder. That's embarrassing. Ow. Stop that.
The difference between skill levels isn't just a matter of damage dealt and received. For instance, in easy mode, we increase the length of time a Combine ball survives before exploding, putting less pressure on the player to get the ball into a socket.
Means I could probably grab one from out here and get it. I don't think I could do that on hard, or maybe I could. Don't remember. I just didn't. I mean, I guess that would make sense that, you know, it would just be less pressure in general. Something is supposed to open now. Yeah, this door. Okay.
Ball tubes are an example of us working within our available toolkit to create a puzzle around a recognized concept. As a physical navigation puzzle, it's different from what the player has experienced before, and it's challenging while not being a binary succeed or fail situation. There are a number of ways to approach this puzzle. In addition to simply dodging, jumping, or ducking the balls, the player can grab or deflect them with his gravity gun, or pick up the hatch and use it as a shield to block the incoming barrage.
I mean, that would work if I was pointed... Oh, fuck. Okay, there we go. I thought I screwed myself by dropping that. That would have been very embarrassing.
The core sphere was one of the last special effects that we finished. To achieve this effect, the core uses animated textures, flow maps, normal map refraction and specularity, as well as volumetric particulate matter rendering, which takes advantage of the core being a sphere.
The higher contrast white Combine motif of the core sets it apart from the rest of the Citadel and heightens its importance within the visual style of Combine aesthetics. It also helps enhance the perception of heat
Did I
and
miss a
radiation
note?
in space.
How did I miss that note?
The Combine core was another new space that needed to stand out from the rest of the environment. We wanted the core to look hot and dangerous, but still be distinct from the fires and the cool blues of the rest of the Citadel. The core became the primary light source in this space, and in conjunction with the white set of Combine materials, we created an extreme contrast to the normally dark values of the Citadel metals.
I'm about to die. How did I manage that? Is there a terminal of healing in here? I don't remember. God, I hope so. Maybe in here? I'm gonna need it. I'm about to die. Because I touched the core. There's not a terminal up there. Oh, boy! So this section will be interesting with 11 health. I need you.
The core was a central element of this part of the game, and as much as possible, we wanted to constantly reinforce its importance. Zigzagging through the space in 3 dimensions while navigating a variety of challenges let us present a few different visual and gameplay perspectives on the same space. By letting the player see the core from a bunch of different angles, we were able to give them a real sense of its scale.
It does have a big scale, that's true. Ow!
The second ball tube presents a variation of the pattern the player learned in the first ball tube. While the first tube can be crossed slowly, by crouching and maneuvering your way up, the second ratchets up the pace, requiring a quicker, more responsive approach.
Why am I not moving? Oh, do I gotta go forward? That'd be why. That'd be why. Alright, something comes unplugged here.
The goal of this logic puzzle isn't figuring out that you need to put balls in batteries. It's coming to the realization that, by filling all of them, you've denied yourself an exit, and that you have to desocket one, climb on the lift, and then resocket it. Sparks guide the player to the source of the balls, which happens to be the tube they just passed through.
Ah! Damn it. Actually, this is salvageable. There we go. Oh, and then we still need to do this one up here, right? and the gravity gun's back to normal, and my super suit is gone. Everything's worse now. I think we can just leave.
Gordon, you did it! The containment system's back in place. It won't last forever, but at least we've bought a little time. While you were in there, I did some poking around in the control data. They were trying to start a chain reaction, all right, but destroying the Citadel is just a side effect. Since we took out Brain's reactor, this is the only way they have to send a transmission packet back to wherever they came from. I can't tell what the packet contains, but it's
Monitor
important.
scenes, such as this video transmission from Dr. Mossman, aren't simply pre-rendered video. These scenes actually unfold live in an inaccessible section of the map, while being projected onto the monitor screen. Here's Dr. Mossman in the small Arctic base set. It's not nearly as far away from the Citadel's core control room as it appears to be in the level.
Okay.
I'm fairly sure I've pinned down the location of the project. It's hard to say how much of it might have survived.
I mean, they could have just did a video, but no, we'll. I mean, I find it better that they render it live.
Take a close look at it, of course, but I should be able to give a better opinion within a few hours. If the site is where we think it is, then it should be no more than... I'm gonna cut this short. We may have been spotted.
Where the hell is she?
Oh yeah, and this introduced. That's the hunters that you see in episode 2.
We need to get this and the
So they're kind of introduced here, but
The packet's done copy.
you can't do any. Like you just see them in a video.
Let's get the hell out of here. Uh-oh. I think they felt that. I've secured an exit elevator. It's this way. Come on. Something tells me they don't want us reading their mail.
I mean, would you like it if someone read your mail?
If we can hitch a ride, it should take us straight out of the city. Hey, the gravity gun's back to normal. Well, it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah. Can't be a god among men all the time.
Usually, the second step of our training arcs involve a threatening training area. This is the second step in the roller mine training, and true to form, there's a threat. The indestructible roller mines endlessly attack the player in a gated space. The only way to defeat them is to have Alex convert them, which means there's no way the player can miss the point of the training. Players also like to see the AI characters fight each other. So after reminding the player about Alex's roller mine hacking talent, we let you sick them on a pack of Combine soldiers.
Company.
Yep.
They won't be expecting this. We're ready. Look at him go!
That's right, ragdoll, baby. Does she need to? Oh, she needs to turn her panel off, right?
This is our train. Let's get in. Come on, let's get in.
I don't know why that. Oh wait, no, I want to heal first. God, I didn't really need it. I was gonna heal first, but I was like, I'm not gonna need help. I really don't need it.
In much the same way that movie effects often utilize different versions of the same model, there are actually 3 trains that make up the Stalker scene. The first one is the moving train you see arrive at the platform. The one you're in right now is a static interior with lights moving outside of it to give the illusion of motion. The third train is the crash version. It's a tilted, banged up, and totally separate area from the moving version. The transition from moving to crashed is disguised by a brief fade to black.
Alex's reaction to the stalkers went through a number of iterations. In very early versions, Alex was frightened by the stalkers. That didn't work because it didn't fit with Alex's earlier reactions to stalkers in the Citadel.
She wasn't that afraid of them.
We changed it so that she expressed anger at the stalker's predicament. Early versions of this new direction failed because Alex's transition from generally upbeat to blind rage was simply too abrupt. Ultimately, through rewrites and rigorous testing, we found the right tone for the scene, a simmering anger level that was more in tune with the situation.
It looks like you saved our lives again.
I do that.
What's that? Oh my god. Brace yourself.
Hey, I took a bit of damage. What the heck? How am I supposed to... I'm coming, Alex!
We wanted the crash train car to be very disordered. In early tests, though, players felt that it was too confusing and too hard to navigate. That feedback prompted us to tone it down a bit. By rearranging some of the geometry, we were able to create a banged-up, tilted environment that still offered a relatively unobstructed path to Alex.
Give it a jolt with the gravity gun.
God, that sound is horrific.
This is another multi-purpose scene. First, Alex is visibly shaken, which once again humanizes her. But she also states the player's goal for the second half of the game: climb to the surface and get to the train station.
Okay. Well, this might not be as easy as I thought. We're in the same boat as the other evacuees now. On foot to a train station. Let's head for the surface.
Oh, the force field went away. I'm not paying attention.
Careful. I hear turrets.
No, they're dead.
So long, they're out of bullets.
Did I do that? I didn't do that.
I can't see a thing. I'm blind as a bat without that flashlight on. We need to get through that door. Damn, it's got a power... Let's see if we can find a power box. An air duct. I've heard stories about human air ducts. Dr. Kleiner says whenever he locked himself out of his office, you and Barney used to see him get in fast without using a key.
Why would we do that? Oh, that's death, okay. waiting for the obligatory head crab. There they are.
Before we armed players with traditional weapons, we wanted to give them a chance to appreciate Alex's combat abilities. Toward that goal, we created a very specific combat style for the early parts of the journey outside the Citadel. Dark, tense, surrounded by zombies, and either weaponless or starved for ammo, so that players needed to rely on the gravity gun, and more importantly, Alex. This is where players finally get a weapon. Since the door only opens when the padlock is shot, players can't proceed without finding the pistol. It's effectively a weapon gate. Once players are through the door, we can be sure they've got a pistol.
Or a shotgun. And I believe if I wasn't playing on commentary mode, there's an achievement for only firing one bullet the entire game. And I think that one bullet is right now when you are supposed to break this gate open. That's the one bullet I think you're allowed to fire.
Originally, the player couldn't operate the power boxes, and would have to wait for Alex to do it. We thought it'd be entertaining to watch Alex do some cool thing while you protected her. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Playtesters were more annoyed than entertained. The other problem was that having Alex committed to a particular activity while action was still going on in the world tended to quickly expose her most robotic tendencies. She'd either ignore what was going on, or completely stop whatever activity the player was waiting for her to finish. Either way, it was unconvincing and frustrating. What we learned here was that whenever Alex commits to some action in a dynamic environment, she needs to finish it quickly and move on.
The darkness in this area has a few real gameplay benefits. It slows the player down, which most of the time keeps Alex at your side. The claustrophobia, the close-in combat, and Alex's constant presence and reliance on your flashlight help enhance the tension and your sense of camaraderie. In the dark, the limited flashlight battery adds an extra layer of resource management to the tactics of combat.
Initially, the player wasn't going to have a weapon here. The combination of no weapon and near total darkness forced the player to use the flashlight to direct Alex's fire. We liked the idea that you could interact with Alex in a meaningful way, using elements that were already built into the interface. Unfortunately, playtesters didn't like not having a weapon, so we added weapons back in. Luckily, it turned out that, even armed, players tended to still use and enjoy the flashlight mechanic.
Yeah, they just wanted to feel safe having a gun. That's probably what it was.
Antlion's here? The Combine's defense field must have collapsed. Makes sense if it was powered by the Citadel.
Oh god, don't do that. I can't frickin' see.
I can get a better shot if you knock them over, Gordon.
Oh yeah, that is a mechanic I can do. I don't think I rarely ever do that. I just like shoot them. You can't zap them over with the gravity gun.
If you don't like Alex, you're not going to have much fun with Episode 1, so Alex being likable was one of our most crucial design goals. Little moments like the Zombine joke are designed to make Alex more endearing. Since we like to multitask, it also had the practical purpose of introducing a new monster. The success of the scene relied on a combination of dialogue, voice acting, and animation. Surprisingly, lighting was really important too. Under red light, Alex's self-deprecating groan looked more like she was sneering at the player for not getting the joke. Changing the lighting to blue and then adjusting the direction of the light so that it changed the shadows on her face fixed the problem.
It's important that monsters get very deliberate introductions, since players are going to interact with them a lot. Generally, we let the player first see a new monster in a safe environment, so they can start thinking about it before they have to fight it.
Crap! Look out! It's got a grenade!
And that's how that goes.
The soundtrack here was created for the introduction of a new adversary, the Combine Zombie, or Zombine. Discordant guitar tones and bends and a lo-fi fast beat work in the background of this encounter to create an off-balance and disturbing mood.
Alright, what thing up? Oh god, oh jeez, oh man.
We always try to exploit a feature as much as possible throughout a game. For instance, these flares. They're an exploration reward. They've got a simple, satisfying interaction with the gravity gun, and they're a good tactical alternative to the flashlight. Finally, they're a weapon that will ignite zombies, which in turn become a new light source.
Oh yeah, it would do that, wouldn't they?
For episode 1, we implemented a scripting component called the Response Rules System for dynamically managing NPC speech. We wanted to take NPC speech out of the hands of the programmers and let the writers control it. The writers were able to set up a wide range of situationally triggered character responses. For instance, Alex has different reactions to different enemies, can warn the player of danger, calls for help when she's mobbed, and will ask for light. The combat responses worked out great, but it's especially satisfying when Alex's comments on some situation mirror your own thoughts. The writers really went crazy with this, so be on the lookout for lots of little Easter egg responses to unusual situations.
Like head crabs hanging from the ceilings? That's a unique response. I thought this is the way to proceed. Oh, there's a power box in there I need to turn on, isn't there? That's what it is. Yep. Forgot about that part. Oh, hi! Where the hell did you come from? Hold on, give me a moment. Or not. There we go. I thought that turned the lights on out here. Apparently it does not. Oh, there's a flare. That would have been nice.
Poison headcrabs are ideal for ambushes because they startle you but can't actually kill you. Here, after a series of right-hand turns, you round a corner into a dead end. While you're cracking open a box of goodies, you're ambushed by poison headcrab. Constructing the ambush this way increased the odds that you wouldn't see the crab, but you would hear it just in time to turn around as it leapt at your head.
I knew it was, I think I heard it before that. Oh, and also I kind of knew it was there from, you know, having played this already recently.
The Antlion hole training is unusual because it requires the player to learn a new skill in combat. This is a rare case where training occurs under duress, so Alex states the problem and helps in the fight without giving away the solution.
Good idea, Gordon. Wow, I sure thought you could plug up the burrow that way.
I think I did that accidentally in my, Or maybe she did reveal it. Alec door. I think we should worry about the guy with the grenade launcher first. Are you gonna shoot the one I'm aiming at, Alex? Or not? She's too busy. There we go. I mean, realistically, you should just let the zombies get eaten. Oh, there we go. Is it me, or do you have more battery in episode 1 than you do in the base game? Or do you just have a really long, like, I just don't notice it because I've been doing like 20 different other things. I didn't do anything, but okay, sure.
You fight alongside Alex for much of episode 1, so her combat really needed to look varied and exciting. We especially wanted to get her into some kind of convincing physical contact with her enemies. We'd always wanted to do this kind of dynamic character interactions, but getting the NPCs into position for their interactions has a pretty wide-ranging set of problems. So we ended up taking an opportunistic approach for episode 1, where instead of figuring out how to maneuver characters into proximity, the system monitors their positions and fires the appropriate animations whenever it notices that they're correctly aligned. Given how well these interactions worked out between Alex and zombies, headcrabs and antlions, we're really looking forward to extending this kind of behavior to all of our NPCs.
I'm wondering what other NPCs would they have done that? Because in episode 2, it's still mostly Alex. You coming, Alex? Oh my god, my face!
This 3-level parking garage is where the antlion burrow training pays off. Because we've taught the player the burrow blocking mechanic earlier in a less hectic environment, the problem here becomes not what to do with the burrows, but where to find the cars to block them while fighting off a horde of antlions. The burrows themselves went through several iterations. At first, playtesters had a hard time seeing them, and once they'd pushed a car onto one, they often weren't sure if the hole was actually sealed. We eventually solved both of these problems by adding a particle effect to the burrows. This effect makes them recognizable even at a distance, and its absence is a clear indication that the burrow is blocked.
Come on, get over there. Oh, this one's not blocked anymore? Well, how did that happen?
We generally design and prototype the basic gameplay in a level before we apply much art to it. Throughout the first several months of playtesting this garage map, the geometry was nothing more than basic shapes and textures.
Okay.
After we finalized most of the gameplay elements, we began to flesh out the visuals for the area. For this level, we left the office and took reference pictures of various garages. From these shots, we pulled out everything we liked and that we thought we could pull off well. We combined these visual highlights into what we call a style guide map, which is a standalone map with no gameplay that we use strictly as visual reference. For this level, we actually made 2 style guides, one a destroyed garage, the other intact. After the look was established, we brought the playable map's visual quality up to the level of the style guides. Often a map's geometry needs to be changed as the art goes in because areas that worked in the abstract version no longer make sense in a map that now looks like a real place. For instance, the side rooms where 2 of the cars are hidden were moved several times in order to make them feel more naturally part of the parking garage.
Yeah, like the actual side areas rather than... I'm bringing this along because that guy wakes up. I remembered that. I think he's supposed to wake up when you're turning the wheel and he's supposed to jump you. But because I left, I guess he just woke up anyway. I'm working on it. Hey! There we go. Now we just need to destroy the stragglers. This one got unblocked again somehow. I don't... Ow! Alex, where are you? Oh, she like, oh, you completed the puzzle, I'm gonna move on. It's like, well, I need to get there too. Hey, be careful you don't cause the car to fall out and I have to do this all over again.
That's better. I can hear myself think.
And you? You can hear yourself over all that ruckus? Back into the light with you, Alex. Oh no.
Ugh. You're lucky you got that hazard suit. This water's nasty. You got room for 2 in there?
Oh, is she talking in the hazard suit? I think I missed the context of that message. Oh. Grenade? Nah. It's just my face I'm blowing up. I'm sure it's fine. You okay there, Alex? There we go. I'm just blowing myself up. I'm sure it's okay. Oh god, okay, we need the light for this bit.
Episode 1 is our first project to use HDR lighting heavily in dark indoor environments. The interaction between the flashlight and the auto exposure calculations done for HDR presented a real technical challenge. In dark areas where the flashlight was the only source of illumination, we found that we'd often end up with grossly overexposed views. We ended up compensating for this by using a different set of exposure parameters when the flashlight was turned on. In particular, we drastically shrunk the region of the screen examined for exposure calculations, which permitted us to concentrate only on the much smaller area lit by the flashlight.
Oh, yeah, she like puts her hand up when you shine the light in her face. A little touch, but you know, it's nice.
This area is the dramatic culmination of all the lightless combat that comes before it. We wanted to create a dynamic fight that lasted several minutes while you waited for the elevator to arrive. The first iteration of this battle was very different from what we eventually shipped.
Got to be kidding.
The space was larger, had water in it, and wasn't completely dark. Water is relatively expensive performance-wise, so we cut that in favor of more zombies. We made the level smaller to ensure that the player would see the elevator and recognize the problem that needed to be solved before the fight started. We killed the lights both to enhance tension and to make the scene a final test of the dark fighting skills that the player develops over the course of the episode.
What's the problem?
Finally,
again?
we added a wire running along the ceiling from the elevator to the power box to give the players a guide as they familiarize themselves with the area.
That was the problem. You gotta turn the power back on again.
In early versions of the episode, Alex was much more vocal about giving the player hints. However, playtest showed it was much more satisfying for the players when Alex stated a goal and then stepped aside until that goal was accomplished. Because of that feedback, almost all of Alex's hint lines were cut. Eventually, though, we discovered through more playtesting that although players didn't like having Alex hand them unsolicited hints, they did want to be able to explicitly request help from her. So we added some of the hint dialogue back in, but it's only accessible at the player's request by Plus using Alex. Unfortunately, we learned these hint lessons late in the development cycle and didn't have time to properly train players for this feature. We plan to integrate the hint-on-demand dialogue more thoroughly in future episodes.
Really?
That wire is sparking. It must be the fuse box.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing. You can get this stuff, I think, by just doing that, basically, and then grabbing it. Like that. Proof of concept. Okay, the flare. Nope. Ammo for a gun I'm not using. Because I'm not using any of the guns. What the hell? Ah, damn it. Oh, that's just another flare.
Our art and gameplay standards encourage players to build a visual dictionary that defines how they expect things to work in the Half-Life world. For instance, even though the door to the power box room is metal, and would probably have a metal crossbar holding it shut, we barred it with a wooden plank. Because we've been consistent throughout the game, the player should recognize that a wooden plank can be both broken and manipulated with a gravity gun, properties that wouldn't be immediately apparent about a metal bar.
We're really happy with the Zombine's grenade behavior. It adds sudden danger spikes to the zombie horde, which force players to quickly reprioritize the targets. And since the player can grab a grenade out of the Zombine's end with a gravity gun, these danger spikes can be converted into offensive opportunities. This kind of turnaround skill shot creates some dynamic, satisfying hero moments for the player. Originally, we didn't allow the player to snatch Zombine grenades because we fairly broke the fiction of the gravity gun. If players could grab a Zombine's grenade, why couldn't they grab the Combine soldier's gun? After playtesting the grenade steal though, fun went out.
That is true. Why can you grab a Zombine's grenade but not a Combine? Oh, bollocks. Oh, hell. Look at those bricks go. I'm gonna need them. Okay.
What's taking so long?
Yeah, you ask me. I don't know. Oh, hell. My face! My face! Oh, fucking. Ducky ducky! There you go. Now you're all on fire. Have fun with that.
It's here. Let's go.
God damn it. Oh, hell. Oh, God. I'm in so much pain.
That was close.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I'm at 2 health. Couldn't have been any more closer without me dying.
Oh my god. I hope it's still light out. Thank God, it's still day. Let's get out of here.
There's a valve in here. There it is.
Can you see if it's open? That's it. See if the crank still works.
It should. I'm just want to make sure I got everything. Okay.
Come on, Gordon, crank that thing.
I'm cranking that thing.
Great. Okay, let's get to the train yard before the Citadel blows.
This City 17 Vista is an explicit visual reward for surviving the elevator battle. Since early playtesters told us that we weren't communicating just how damaged the city was, this sweeping view of an extremely messed up City 17 serves a practical purpose, as well as being a nice moment of calm between storms. The framing of your first view of the Citadel in this Vista space is very deliberate. We included various leading elements, such as wires and light poles, that all drive the player's eye to the Citadel.
Destructive pulse forced a damper on the entire network of linked Citadel.
One thing we try to do when we're integrating storytelling and gameplay, something that's become a hallmark of ours, is to include non-linear bits of narrative. Things that action-oriented players don't have to sit through, but that are available to players who want to learn more about the background of the story. Kleiner's broadcasts on the public address monitors are a good example of this method. Apart from the strong visual image of Dr. Kleiner replacing his former boss on the giant screens, his speech conveys a lot of dense information about the state of the world and how things have changed due to the events of Half-Life 2.
force ever
We settled
wider
on this
as they
particular
poured
location
through
for the
in
Climber
greater
cast
and
as one of
greater
the few
numbers.
logical places where players can watch in peace or move on to the next encounter. It's essentially a footnote embedded in the world, which makes this a footnote on a
who will be
footnote.
doing their utmost to re-establish lines of communication and supply with the larger forces. Even so, there is greater reason for hope now than at any time in the past decade. We have made, in secret, several technological advances, which we will do our best to deploy in advance of the Combine's return.
Does that mean he's making this broadcast from White Forest?
Train a new generation of scientists and technicians.
Which is in episode 2.
Later in the level, there's a Combine gunner protected behind some metal plates, just like the ones blocking the player's way here. We placed them here as a training tool to remind players that the gravity gun can grab and detach these things.
I still messed up that section. I remember that. Oh, the scanner. Get out of here.
Probably us.
Probably us.
Repelling soldiers presented a difficult training problem because we found it's tough to focus the player's attention upward. This entire alley was carefully designed to ensure that the player would see the descending soldiers. First, we framed the soldiers with a straight line of buildings. Then we had them run across the rooftops so they were starkly silhouetted against the sky before they dropped down in front of the lightly colored buildings. Finally, we added a distinctive sound to the repelling action so that the players would recognize it later in the game.
From the rooftops. We'd get a bit farther before they noticed us again.
Yeah, me too, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Post-Half-Life 2 look of City 17 was difficult to nail down, and we went through many changes. We wanted to establish several things, primarily that this was a different part of the same city with a slightly different atmosphere, and that it had been severely damaged. This street was a test bed for a lot of our visual design work. First, we built an intact city street, then we beat up certain buildings. In some cases, removing them entirely so that more destruction was visible in the distance. We did initial lighting pass in the game engine and then took screenshots of various locations. Using Photoshop, we manipulated those screenshots to establish a color scheme. Photoshop lets us quickly iterate through all kinds of skies, lighting styles, and color schemes. The environmental lighting colors that we ended up with were based on some photo references of the sun filtering through smoke from a forest fire. Some falling ash effects and a closer than usual fog plane helped sell the effect.
Character AI is all about putting on a good show. As we neared the end of production, we were still unhappy with the way that Alex handled herself in combat. The most common thing she did was run backwards while shooting at the enemies. It was fairly realistic, but kind of boring. So we added crouching and aiming at the last minute, and though it didn't really change her combat effectiveness in any functional way, it made her a whole lot more fun to watch. And this is a really good example of how these relatively minor presentation and behavior changes can often have a really major impact on entertainment
I don't know how
value.
that's considered blocked. Apparently that one's considered blocked. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess realistic could be kind of boring, but like, I guess it just shows sometimes a simple fix is all that's needed. Wow, how am I not hitting the door? Come on.
Trip mine traps are great, but they were sort of hard to justify given the total chaos of City 17. Even though we couldn't use trip mines a lot, they made sense in this interrupted ambush scene.
Oh, he's not going to talk about this puzzle? That's stuck. Are you kidding me? Are these things really that heavy? No, I didn't think so. What the hell? It's Crate Baby all over again. Except this time it's Crate Paint Can. Oh my god. So the crate doesn't want to get picked up when it has the paint can in it. Okay. Is there like a third? Oh, is there like a third paint can, or do I gotta use this rock? I know we did this before, but I'm trying to be like, how much is enough? Like, is this cinder block enough? Nope. Could also be a question of pivot points. Like, maybe the weight's too... If all the weight is over there, maybe it'll work better. Who knows? I didn't notice a difference. Okay. Why will you not sit flat? It's a good thing Alex sits outside, because I bet she would be embarrassed to see this. Oh my god, okay. Is it because I get caught on the wall? Is that the problem? It's because I don't jump in time because it's falling. I had a lot of problems with this in my first playthrough too. There we go.
Nicely done. Let's head upstairs.
This explosion permanently seals the cafe door, which has a few benefits. From a design perspective, we found that when we limit the amount of backtracking players can do, it gives them confidence to venture forward. And from a practical standpoint, we can clean up the now unreachable entities, giving us a big reduction in overhead. It also helps to minimize potential bugs and exploits.
Ow! There's a sniper down there. Careful, Alex. Come on.
Originally, the player didn't get any weapons until the end of this map, so roller mines were the only way to kill the soldiers. As we added more content to previous levels, it became impractical for players to be without a gun for so long. As a result, players get weapons much earlier now.
Were you trying to shoot it? Why would it default? Oh, because I only had one grenade. Somehow, but it defaulted to the shotgun. Well, it's a good thing I can't go for the achievement anyway. If I would have been pissed if I was going for the achievement there. How do we convince Alex that it's safe? Because it's safe. Alex? The hell are you? Oh, there you are.
Looks like we need to find you a med kit. There's no telling how much time we have left.
Yeah,
It can't be that much farther.
you're supposed to...
Nice toss, Gordon. That sniper almost took my head
Yeah, okay. At least we got her back on track.
Let me climb up and take a look at what we're walking into.
I turned her AI back on. She was like, she was supposed to do that. I was like, I guess maybe I got too far away from her or something happened there.
Uh-oh. They've got the street fortified up ahead.
Well, that's gonna be great.
You
I have.
point, okay?
Oh,
I'll
I
cover
have.
you from up here till you reach the far end.
I got no
When the
health.
coast is clear, I'll catch up. Okay, looks like I can get that ladder down to you. Let me shoot out the latch.
I got no health.
I might be a little rusty with this rifle. Ha! Nope, guess I'm not.
One of the primary design goals of Episode 1 was to convey the sense that Alex and the player are a team. This sniper sequence provides an opportunity for Alex to offer combat support in a cool new way. It also gives the player a chance to watch zombies get sniped up close and from various angles.
Wait, you could just leave? Oh, I know, you are supposed to just leave. I'm kinda being the weird one by not doing that. But you can grab something in here? Oh, the bottle. That's not really anything I can throw at anyone, so I'm not gonna bother.
Players didn't have any weapons in the original version of this map. That made it a lot more important to remove the boards with the gravity gun so that Alex could snipe the zombies. Once weapons were added though, the Sky Bridge became less of a puzzle and more of a straightforward combat event. We added more zombies to increase the challenge, but pulling the boards off is still the most fun way to get through this level.
Oh, the car again. Oh yeah, this guy. That I need to pull the thing off. The thing that they literally talked about in the commentary, and I still forgot about it. Too far. Not far enough? Or, nope, that's far enough, apparently. Right, they opened the wall for some stupid ass reason. They shouldn't open the wall, but they do. God. A turret or something I can use, or I guess I could come down and help. She really doesn't need my help though. She's like in the state of duress, but she really doesn't need it. Isn't there a button up there to close the door? I think there is. Maybe there wasn't.
Glad that's over. Oh, God. Looks like the reactor's back on track for a meltdown.
Yeah,
transmission's going out after
we didn't buy that much time.
Oh! I'd like to find another way around these buildings, but we really don't have time. Okay, let's...
No, I want the brick. Come on. Actually, a washing machine might make... I can't... Oh, you can't grab the washing machine. You can only blast it. Okay, well, that's not as interesting.
Our AI is inherently unscripted, which means that we have to design spaces that permit our characters to make good choices. The AI is better able to make intelligent decisions when there are alternate routes through a combat space. This hallway started out as a straight-shot corridor with a door at the end for soldiers to enter through, but this design didn't provide the AI with enough choices to make the soldier behavior very interesting. Adding an additional space on the side allowed them to find cover and flank the player, both of which dramatically improved the entertainment value of this encounter.
Yeah, corridors aren't very interesting anyway.
We just broke about 50 Combine regulations.
We're gonna break more before we're done.
The first prototype of Episode 1's door blast effect was here in the Combine Garrison. Being peppered with chunks of wood while soldiers poured into the room through a haze of smoke proved to be an effective dramatic tool. It was also an excellent way to simultaneously ungate the player and flood the area with enemies. It was so unanimously successful in playtest that we ended up adding it in several places throughout the episode.
I mean, I think I kind of cheesed that by being in the commentary while doing the combat, so... Maybe. I mean, that's kind of what... Like, I'm not here to actually... Oh, what did I do? There was like a barrel up here. Oh, I just used that against him. Well, it doesn't matter. Antlion Queen shouldn't take that long, or the Antlion Guard shouldn't take that long on easy, but we'll see.
At this point in the action, we really felt that we needed a combat crescendo. Antlion Guards make great boss challenges, and we decided to add some Combine forces to the mix because watching AI characters fight each other is always entertaining. This setup had a few other benefits as well. Since players had previously only fought alone against the guards, this was the first time they'd actually witnessed secondhand the effects of a guard headbutt. They'd also see an APC in action, and in case there was any doubt, get definite proof that Combine soldiers and Antlion Guards don't get along, underscoring the collapse of Combine dominance in City 17.
Antlion Guard arenas have a few specific design requirements. For instance, since the guard is only armed with a melee attack, we can't let the player reach any place that's inaccessible to the guard, such as rooftops and other high perches that the player could only arrive at after being launched by a guard headbutt. The arenas also need plenty of physics objects for the guard to toss, and at least one unlimited ammo crate, so that the player can't run out of ammunition before killing the guard. For this battle, we also introduced a steady stream of regular Antlions to limit the player's ability to constantly circle the Antlion Guard.
You can still do it. You can still kind of do it. It's just a little bit more difficult. Are we done? Was there a third spot? I think we're done, right? Oh, they're coming from the rooftops, are they? Okay, well, we got this. Probably, I would imagine. Give me something to fire at, you people.
In early versions of this area, there was no side passage off the street, and the Gashno Road was created by the gunship that the player later fights in the hospital attic. As development progressed, however, gameplay, story, and performance requirements made this initial design unworkable. The new side passage provided a short break in the combat tension after the boss battle, and also helped us stay within our performance budget.
Oh, that's nasty. They do, don't they? I forgot they put that debate in. So you have to, like, use the gravity gun to pull the stuff to you. Oh yeah, this section.
After the Antlion Guard fight, playtesters were reporting some combat fatigue.
What did I die on?
After the Antlion Guard fight, playtesters were reporting some combat fatigue. We decided to include an environmental puzzle here to break up the pacing before the subsequent street battle. We originally worried that a densely packed room full of hopper mines, trip mines, and explosive barrels was a little too implausible. But playtesters loved the sudden reveal of the room and then enjoyed navigating it, so this ended up being another case where we accepted a trade-off between fun and maintaining a strictly consistent fiction.
I don't see hoppers. Maybe they took them out in testing. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh god. And oh, hold on. Well, I wanted to trigger. That's okay. I wanted to hit that commentary note anyway. I still didn't hit it. What the f... Also, apparently on easy, you don't even die from these. That's funny.
At one point, this was the site of a physically simulated elevator puzzle. It was kind of neat, but it caused a lot of problems in playtests. Even though the puzzle mostly obeyed the laws of physics, it wasn't all in line with the way we had trained players to expect elevators to work in our world. We considered adding some earlier training to support it, but quickly abandoned the idea in favor of a redesign that was more immediately understandable while still being fun.
I missed that there was a hatch here, so you're supposed to have blown the hatch off and then swim up. Oh, bollocks. I don't remember if that would matter or not. That's right, this is what you're supposed to do to get to that ladder, instead of, getting eaten by a barnacle. This is a lot of effort to turn on a switch, by the way. Or a door. Ah, this is what they meant by a room full of hoppers.
might have forgotten about me.
No, I'm just getting blown up. Where did that gun come from? Ah, damn it.
Uh-oh. Here we go again.
I can do that too. Is he dead? Probably not. Yeah, he's not. But they kind of gave up. Are you gonna do something, my good man? I could have used that. Great. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Right. This is the door we need to go through. Makes me wonder how you do. Wait, how would you do this section without firing a gun? I can think of. Hold on, I can think of something. Yeah, you probably just grab one of these. Or some of these. Or the enemies could come down to you. That's an option. I certainly was not expecting that. Why would they come down? Kind of doesn't make sense, but alright. Good job, buddy. You're doing great. I'm trying to look for like something I could fling at him. Other than the ammo boxes, I got nothing, dude. It really makes me wonder how I'd have to like really actually like plan out this section or let Alex do most of it, but that doesn't seem to be working. I mean, it works eventually, I guess. God, oh, the door might work. Where are we going again? Oh. Does she need to do a thing? I think that's what it was. Something like that. No, we don't go through there. Do we go through this gate? I think someone from the isn't someone from the Resistance supposed to come by and be like, oh, here we go. Have I broke it?
What are you still doing here?
Okay, there we go.
Everyone's out of the city.
The Combine's not making it easy. We're trying to get enough people together to force our way through to the train station. People are meeting up in a safe house nearby.
Can you take us there?
You bet. Let's go. This way. Yeah, pardon me. Hey, it's me. Open the door.
What's the password?
I'm not even gonna tell you to shut up.
Come on in.
Previously, certain protein chains important to the process of embryonic development were selectively prevented from forming.
Nick Kleiner's daughter, right?
This is no longer the case.
My dad's
For those so inclined, now would be an excellent time for procreation. Which is to say, in layman's terms, you should give serious consideration to doing your part for the revival of the species. We must make the most of the time we have, as it is by no means certain how much time we have secured ourselves before the Combine attempt to restore their dominion, as they certainly shall. Since this is, in fact, the first opportunity we have had to speak openly of the baleful influence of the Combine, there is much ground.
She didn't make her comment about how people were supposed to get busy.
Series of useful bulletins in the days ahead. However, for now we will have to content ourselves with some relatively meager exposition. The destabilization of the City 17 reactor has had repercussions.
One was she like, maybe that's later that she comments about, did Dr. Kleiner just tell everybody to get busy? Yes.
Let's find another way out.
I believe that all Combine plans have failed completely, as well as all communication systems on that technology.
Nice.
The Combine are completely cut off. Combine forces currently stationed on Earth are now isolated, stranded. However, this is most likely what's turned to our dismay, even relatively tiny fragments of Black Mesa gave our enemies an opening which they were able to force ever wider as they poured through.
Ow!
So, there is greater reason for hope than at any time in the past decade. We have made in secret several technological advances which we will do our best to deploy in advance of the Combine's return. We continue to diligently assemble and train a new generation of scientists and technicians. For what the Combine fear the most is not any tangible human weapon, but our intellect, our ability to respond selectively and rationally to every terror they turn against us. We place our firmest hope in the human spirit, even knowing how easily it may be shattered. We have all seen friends.
This space was designed to lure players onto a section of breakable floor and drops them into a room full of zombies. Players are enticed into the trap by some reward items and a chance to peek in the hold. We like to surprise players, but we never want them to feel like they've been treated unfairly.
I cannot overstate how important it is that we retain.
Gordon? Alex? I don't believe it.
It doesn't
How the
look
hell
too
did you get out
good.
of the Citadel?
We're not exactly sure.
Barney,
All I
like
know
Dr.
is the
Kleiner,
Vortigaunts
is one of the
had something to do
characters with the deepest roots in Half-Life 1.
Barney?
His personality is more iconic and retains more of the comic stylization of the first game. This type of character allows us to mix up the mood a little bit, to inject some absurd humor into the otherwise grim scenarios of the Half-Life universe. While characters such as Alex and Eli Vance have allowed us to explore more realistic dramatic possibilities, we're still very much attached to our roots in satire and black
You
humor.
guys know about the evacuation trains,
Dark
right?
humor can be good.
Well, we've been planning to make a push on the
I do enjoy a good dark humor once in
cut a path
and
through
then.
every chicken ship Metro cop who's having second thoughts about defending City 17.
If Gordon and I took a separate route, we could draw the Combine away from you. That'd give you a chance to get the trains filled up before we get there.
Really? Well, if you say so. Now, come here, look over here. Okay, across this bridge, over
Barney's
the
big
rooftops
crowbar
is a
scene
safe
here
path
required
to
a
the
few
station.
tricks to pull off. There are actually 3 separate crowbar models in this sequence. First, there's the one stuck in the machine. When Barney grabs that one, we remove it from the world and switch on a second crowbar that's been in Barney's hand the entire time, only invisible. Both of these models are purely decorative, so as soon as Barney makes his tossing motion, we hide the second crowbar and create a third usable crowbar that then bounces to the ground.
So,
See you at the station.
so they took a crowbar off. So he had an invisible crowbar that was in his hand, but is this the point where we attack the? This is the point. I'm thinking the gunship would be okay to use the rockets against for the sake of the achievement, because otherwise I'm not sure how you would fight it, because you pretty much have to fight it. You don't really get a... Like, I don't think you can do without fighting it.
Hate these things.
Good shot. Ow. What? Oh, the shotgun guy just retreated. I see. Like, what was hitting me? The shotgun.
Hey, a hospital. Keep an eye out for medical supplies.
I'm gonna find a lot, but it ain't gonna be medical supplies.
Whenever possible, we like to foreshadow impending boss battles by introducing the enemy before the actual fight. In this case, you know you're going to be seeing that gunship again pretty soon.
Yep. Come on, Alex. There we go. Oh, that's ammo. I was like, what is that? You okay, Alex? Is it the whole... I'm gonna have to look and be like, is it the whole game, or is it just during, say, like the underground section? Although at that point you already don't have weapons to begin with.
Keep an eye out for medical supplies.
Oh, this gurney is static? Okay.
Whenever possible, we like to foreshadow impending boss battles by introducing the enemy before the actual fight. In this case, you know you're going to be seeing that gunship again pretty soon.
That went a lot better this time. Oh, god damn! I'm dying. I'm playing. I moved on to episode 1. So yeah, we're still going. I'm dead. Okay.
Hey, a hospital. Keep an eye out for medical supplies.
I mean, I could try doing this with just
Whenever
guns,
possible,
but
we like to foreshadow
I'm trying to
impending
think
boss
of how
battles
you would.
by
Like,
introducing
I'm
the
trying to
enemy
like
before the actual fight.
route out in my
you know you're
mind
gonna
how
be seeing
you
that
do
gunship
this
again
without
pretty soon.
guns for the achievement. So that's why I'm like kind of treating it as a test run for that. So there we go. Apparently, chair does not have much weight. Okay, it takes a few attempts. How well does suitcase work? There we go. Is that because of the gunship, or is that because of my pain? I don't know, but this radiator's gonna come in handy. Ow! Oh, I thought that was a door. Okay,
Instead of letting the gunship AI have its own way here, we forced the ship to crash right into the attic. It's a dramatic payoff for winning the battle, and it gives players an opportunity to examine a gunship up close at their leisure.
We designed this gunship battle to create a dynamic, evolving experience, while still keeping the player within a constrained area. Initially, the space appears straightforward and provides plenty of cover. As the environment gets progressively more damaged, combat becomes more challenging. Players are increasingly open to enemy fire, and the path to the rocket crate becomes more difficult to navigate. As the roof breaks apart, however, the gunship also becomes more visible, and therefore easier to hit, keeping things relatively in balance. The lighting in this area was tuned to play off of the HDR tone mapping effects between the dark inner spaces and the progressively open, bright sky above.
Oh, god damn it. Like I said, I think this section you kind of have to do it with the rocket launcher. So hopefully it means it's exempt. Oh, it was still active? Amazing. There we go. I don't know how you would do this without being able to fire the rocket launcher.
Wow! I mean, holy... That was... Jesus, Gordon, you're a real terror.
Yep. Terror of the City 17, that's me.
Maybe you should whack it with a crowbar just in case.
I mean, I could.
Oh, God, not again.
I can't really get... Unless... Oh, I can fire these things at them. That doesn't really work, though, when they're massive. That's like medical supplies.
The hospital was a completely new interior space that we had to design pretty much from scratch. Like most of City 17's visuals, it was inspired by Eastern European architecture. The surgery lamps and the overall white and yellow color scheme were drawn from photos of a hospital in Chernobyl. The tilework and the high archways were chosen to give the area the institutional feel of an old European hospital, and the beds were based on some World War II images. In fact, we avoided modern-looking fixtures and furniture altogether in order to differentiate the place from a contemporary hospital.
It's like a old. Okay, so it's not. They just didn't want it looking like a modern hospital. We really need to get involved. Now we will.
We designed this area to be an entertaining showcase for NPC combat. Because of our dynamic AI, these kinds of battles never really play out the same way twice. Players often like to sit back, watch the show, and then dive into the fray at their own discretion. We also felt it was time to introduce a new combat ability for Alex, so we gave her a shotgun here. Not only are shotguns terrific for zombie hunting, their size and ponderous handling characteristics make for some great combat animations.
Wow, what a great miss. Okay there, Alex? Oh man, she's like Father Grigori just standing in the fire. I forgot that happened. I wasn't sure, actually. I'm not gonna say I forgot, I wasn't sure. Oh my goodness. That's not what I want. I want the filing cabinet. I want the toilet. Can I not grab the toilet? Apparently not. Alright, well, we'll just do this for a bit. That's where we came from, I think. Hold on. Yeah, okay. We're going this way, and then this way, and then... probably this way. Because there's a node.
The door-banging zombies were supposed to give players a safe glimpse of the threat they'd have to face later in the level. In the original design, players couldn't open the door. The zombies would burst through on their own after the player had done a little exploring. We abandoned that plan when many playtesters exhibited a pretty much single-minded fascination with opening the door as soon as they saw it. We made the door openable, though if players ignore it, the zombies will eventually break it down themselves.
Will they? It doesn't look like they would, but I'll take their word for it. Doing great there, Alex. There we go. They basically put loot in like every area. So eventually you just had to wait, or... I'm stuck. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I am. Is it because of that monitor? It might be. So eventually you just had to wait for the zombies to open it originally?
To make the set of empty corridors look like a hospital, we chose some iconic hospital props that could be used multiple times throughout the level. Then we built the models with details, multiple skins, and vertical and horizontal elements that would be visually interesting in the space.
Oh god, more zombies!
Oh, did I make it in? Alright. At least that paint can thing still works. I thought that would hurt them. Apparently not. Interesting. That's okay, we'll just have to go around them. That's not a problem. This is why they... Yeah.
Too much of the same type of uninterrupted gameplay causes fatigue. Through repeated playtests, we learned that by the time players reached this part of the hospital, they were ready for a break from the intense combat. In response to that feedback, we inserted this relatively calm exploration puzzle as a change of pace. It gives players a respite from combat while still presenting them with an interesting challenge.
I wonder how a gravity gun would work on water itself. Well, I don't know. Would think I'd make, well, probably, I mean, it would, I guess, alter the gravity of it. I don't know. I forgot about that trap. I think, yeah. Oh yeah, the water barrels. I need to get the water barrels in order to keep this ballast up. Well. I forgot, did they add, I think they added a bunch more, just to screw with the player. I think you only need one thing to keep this up. Oh, don't eat that. I need that. I think you only need one, but my logic behind that is that I think there's only one to use, so. Is there a second one? I don't remember. God damn it. I mean, technically I could use like this as ballast too, but it's not going to do as much. Not going to do as much as the thing that they're intending for you to use, which is the water barrel. You think it would pick up a blob of water? It might do that. It could do that. The game never, like, we don't actually have one that in 0-point energy field manipulator in real life to test this theory, though. think I can get around that by sticking to the left. I can. Okay, but from here, you jump here. Don't fall in the water. Okay. They really want to frickin' have you. I should have saved. I could just shoot him. Like I said, I'm also trying to, like, do, like, a mental run-through if I want. Because there's an achievement in this game for only firing one bullet in the whole game. And it's the one bullet you need to fire in order to get yourself out of the gate, I think, at the beginning of the game. But I'm thinking the rockets against the... I don't know for sure. I'd have to look into all this. I was just doing, like, a dry run to try to, like, see how you would do it instead of trying to figure it out on the fly when if I wanted to actually do the run. So I'm kind of just, like, mentally, like, figuring it out. So yes, I could shoot them, but I'm trying to, like, yeah, figure out how you would work around them. Because you basically have to work around these ones, I think. Or, because you're done with... You can trigger it... Yeah, you can trigger that one to eat it, and then... Because you're done over there, you don't need the ballast anymore. And I just need to not fall into the water, because the water's electrified. I still briefed it. Hello, Cat. How are you doing? Actually, that one's fine. If I didn't biff the jump, the second one would be fine. Okay, you need to hit them both. I see. So... Or I just gotta get my angle better and not fall off the tripwire. I mean, I can get both. We can just do one, each this guy. I don't know if it'll get there in time. You eat that one. And then I don't jump, apparently, because I don't think I need this one to get eaten. I just need to not... Maybe I don't even need to run, sprint jump. Maybe I could just jump. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Now I am overcomplicating it.
Sorry about leaving you alone down there, Gordon.
Oh, it's
I got a
fine.
bit swamped.
Is that a joke? Is that another joke, Alex?
I see you did all right without me.
Toxin level User dead imminent. Seek medical attention.
I don't think this chair is going to be enough to do any damage, but we'll find out. I mean, he definitely reacted. Am I losing HP before my suit? Because if you're talking about how the poison zombies poison me, it's because they have a neurotoxin. I forget. Oh wait, I think zombies break through the door, right? That's what happens.
Here they come.
Yeah. Oh, they come through this door first, apparently. I'm okay. Actually. Well, that's on me. Okay. Can I grab gunfire? I can grab a flare, and that causes fire. I think what you're supposed to have done is actually the hopper mines, which is not, I'm supposed to drop them, not accidentally launch them. Imagine being on fire with a head crab and complaining about it. I mean, he's burning alive. Where'd that cinder block go? There it is. Put some dirt on it? I mean, that would put out the fire. You're not wrong. Are we not supposed... Am I missing the point? Did I miss where we were supposed to get off? Oh, yeah, we did. It's this way. Past the fire. The kind that probably does more experimentation than medicine.
Zombie Q.
Hey.
This turret scenario was designed to showcase Alex's ability to provide cover for players in combat. She always hangs back a little, blasting anything that moves. In the original version, players could knock over lightly protected turrets with a single rocket, fired from the safe end of the corridor. We thought it'd be a nice way for players to feel like they'd pulled one over on the Combine. Unfortunately, playtesters routinely thought that they'd discovered a bug, or, at best, an exploit that had arisen from sloppy design.
Oof.
So in this case, a situation we deliberately created to make the players feel clever actually caused them to think we weren't doing our job very well. As a result of this feedback, we added a force field and additional grading to better protect the turrets.
That's an interesting... The devs thought were making a section that would make the player feel like they're clever, but the players just thought that the devs just made that section poorly. That's interesting. Cat. I think I gotta get the cat out of here. He keeps trying to attack my mouse. Buddy. You know, the cable is very important. You need to let go of it with your paw. Hey, that one's also important. Are you hungry? He might be hungry. He's been in here for a while. He probably hasn't had his dinner. Hey, stop it. I'm gonna take him out. Maybe get him dinner. I'll be back in a bit. Alright. I am back, but I'm trying to I'm thinking I should probably end soon, actually. So maybe the cat needing to go have something to eat is a sign for me to stop for the night. I think that's probably a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that.